All right, welcome back to part 2 of my video addressing a video. So if you haven't seen part 1, it really doesn't matter because the majority of this is totally pointless and there's no structure, no order, or really anything besides me saying this didn't happen. And yeah, so I mean, I wish I could make this drama a little more interesting, but unfortunately I cannot. So I'm just going to begin. If you haven't watched the first one, you might want to, just because it might make better sense, because I sort of explained the situation a little better and I don't feel like doing that again. My dogs are all asleep, so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to actually talk without them barking. So the next point that she makes is her saying that I don't give two craps about my ex and I breaking up and that I fake cry in videos. For one, I can't fake cry in videos. I've never been able to. If I could, I would have certainly done so. That's like an awesome skill for a YouTuber to have, and unfortunately I didn't. My ex certainly did. She was very good at it. Congratulations. You know this though. I know that you know this. My self-worth was in my ex. My whole future was planned with my ex right by my side. I was an absolute wreck. Everyone that was around me knows I was an absolute wreck. I don't like to talk about it. It's very difficult. But to suggest that I didn't care about losing the girl I was with for 5 years is absolutely disgusting. When someone is so low going through this, despite what you think you know or what you don't know or what you do know, to say that with the intentions of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to see it and then side with you and attack the person that you're talking about is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I cannot believe you would do this. Also, the first 3 months of this whole break turned break up, all the posts by my ex were about how happy she was, and then sponsors. Mostly sponsors, like literally every day, but they were all about being happy. Why am I not allowed to do this as well? Also, my ex literally made a video about how to be happy, and I'll be honest, it didn't work. I was still very miserable. So to suggest that I'm this bad guy for not being miserable, although I was, but I certainly didn't feel the need to, you know, call you and let you know, or something. Like, I don't know what even the point of this was, besides to blatantly attack me and get people to dislike me for absolutely no reason. And when I say no reason, I mean this reason. I don't mean I haven't been mean to Gabrielle on occasion. I haven't acted out of line. I haven't said things that I don't regret. Like, I've certainly have. That I have regret. I do regret. My bad. I've said things that I regret. I've done things that I regret. This happens. Unfortunately, it was happening too often, and that's why we broke up, or at least that's one of the reasons we broke up. But to suggest that I didn't care about this whole thing was such a disrespectful, disgusting reach that I know you know isn't true. So this is the next point that I think most people are interested in, and it's been twisted to make me look like this manipulative monster that made my ex do everything for me, and I just forced her to do everything. This is certainly not true. I think that's obvious to most people, but unfortunately there are people that believe this. But my ex did buy her car. That video was in a way manipulative and a lie, and I'm sorry. But the plan all along was that I would inevitably buy myself a car, which has arrived at this point, and my ex was supposed to supposedly surprise me with it. Is it fake? Yes. I'm sorry that that upsets everyone. I understand why, but I enjoyed making that kind of content. My ex enjoyed making that kind of content, and it is also very difficult, if not impossible, to actually buy someone a car, get it insured, get all the information ready without having to communicate with them. I'm sorry that that ruins a lot of videos for you guys, but that's just the truth. I'm not ashamed by this. I'm not embarrassed by this. The video was great. I thought it was very motivational and emotional, but I would also point out that it wasn't my idea to do that, and it was certainly agreed upon. And there was a lot of fake crying in that video, and it certainly wasn't me. She then goes on to talk about how I was manipulative just in general, and the more that I think about this, the more I've had time to process this whole situation and think about my past. I do realize that in a way I was manipulative pretty often. It wasn't like I was waking up in the morning saying, oh, I'm going to manipulate my future wife gone wrong, but I certainly was manipulative to an extent and in a sense, but it wasn't like I was forcing her to do all these things. I certainly wasn't. there have been occasions where I would be like, no, we need to do this, or no, you need to get over here because we need to film this video. That would happen. That's business. That's me being a businessman. I'm sorry. Like even the car video, the surprising my future wife with a car video that you now know was in a way fake, but she was excited to film it. We were excited to film it. I loved editing it. We were excited to post it. We were literally laying in bed together reading the comments like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like there was never this, oh, we got them, money, money, money. Like no, that doesn't happen. We don't act that way. We literally just saw it as like this motivational part of our life that we wanted to make more interesting because that's what YouTubers do. I think I've given that too much thought or too much attention. She then just says I'm mean on videos. The thing is, when I'm filming and editing them and then posting them, that normally implies that I didn't think that I was being mean. That also basically implies that I was aware of what was being posted. So from my perspective and my ex's perspective and our audience's perspective, I wasn't being mean. I was never made aware that this was the popular opinion. I do remember a while back my ex pranked me, and then after that I got hate because it was basically this video of her wearing a scandalous outfit. I didn't like it. I was like, what the heck? And then people thought I was this, you know, overly controlling, abusive boyfriend because of that, and that was weird for me. I acknowledged it. I recognized that I could have said things differently and I need to act better. I did get better, obviously not good enough, but my sense of humor is not like most people's, and although I do recognize I have room to improve and room to mature, I know that most people on the internet, when they watch a video apologizing, they expect, you know, apology, 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 and then a little bit of crying and the camera turns off. But no, fuck you, this is my personality, and I, although can mature and can be better, to suggest that I was this mean, horrible person when you've known me long enough to know that's not true is ridiculous, and especially to say that I'm like that on video, because now I know that this was your intention, but now people will go back, watch the video and say, oh, I can totally see that he was this mean monster, which in reality isn't true. And I know that I keep calling myself this monster and mean, and you probably don't have the context as to why I'm acting like it was so dramatic, but if you were to watch the video, for the people that managed to see it, like, you'd think I was the Antichrist. I've also acknowledged this when we did the scandalous video and I posted it, edited it, and people did not approve of the way I was acting. I literally made a video, very genuine, I was clearly upset, very embarrassed, very ashamed, and I apologized for this and promised to get better, which I did. Not good enough, as I've already said, but to once again suggest that I am just this mean person in videos with the intention of people going back and rewatching our content and saying, oh, I noticed this and this, I never noticed this before, oh my gosh, he is so horrible, was a pretty below the belt business move or YouTuber move, in my opinion. She then goes on to say that I only loved my ex for her body and that I would just sexualize her in thumbnails and in videos. No, I didn't. I would hype my girlfriend up because she was extremely attractive and beautiful, and I thought so, and I knew everyone else thought so, and also she was rather quiet, so when I'd hype her up, it would give her more confidence in the videos and around people in general. Also, I was never made aware that this bothered her, and as her boyfriend, I will continue to do that and continue to say exactly whatever I feel like saying until she tells me it's not okay, which she never did. So if that bothers you, I am sorry, but it certainly didn't bother anyone else, and it's never been made apparent, or I've never been made aware that this was bothering anyone else or making them uncomfortable, and if it was, I really wish that you had told me years prior rather than waiting to try to ruin my reputation with this ridiculous reach. Also, I don't make the thumbnails. I take them after getting them approved by my ex, and then my ex makes them. So I would argue it's not me doing that to her, it was her doing that to her, and she had the intent of getting the video views. I'm sorry that I was not the only businessman in the relationship, and I'm sorry that that upsets you, but I also recognize that you knew this. We've talked about this, she's talked about this with you, so to come out and say that I sexualized my girlfriend, and then your proof is literally just absolute dog shit bullshit, the smelliest bullshit I've ever heard, is gross. It's disrespectful. It's making me upset. She then goes, I don't know if Jack likes me. I had no problem with you. I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool. I thought your family and I were cool, considering they literally invited me to their wedding and I haven't seen them since then. And then she goes on to talk about how I was disrespectful at her wedding, and I've apologized about this to her. I didn't realize that the way I was talking or the things I was saying were offensive and disrespectful. That's my fault. I totally acknowledge that. I should have never said those things.